report on the state of safety and regulation in the cryptocurrency market has revealed some concerning numbers. The study by Subsum, a verification platform, shows that scammers are using artificial intelligence to create fake profiles. This year alone, the number of deepfake frauds in the crypto industry increased by 128% compared to 2022. We're now joined by Hannes Bezuidenhout, Vice President for Africa Sales at Subsum. When we look at this particular industry, Hannes, when somebody mentions crypto, people tend to be very skeptical these days because of the fraud and swindling that's happened in the past few years. How bad is the situation in terms of security?
Hi, Matteo. Thanks for the time here. So, I mean, if we look at the report, we had 100 crypto companies that we interviewed, and about 800,000 fraud cases. So 77% of those crypto companies observed a new fraud pattern. Although in some places, fraud has come down, the fraud personas or these people behind the fraud have actually become more professional. So deepfake technology has evolved at a rapid pace. And it's so easy to download an app now or a piece of software to impersonate a legitimate user and gain access to their wallet. So to give you, some statistics around that, 10% we've seen 10% more deepfake fraud in Q1 this year alone than the whole of 2022. Nigeria has decreased a bit. South Africa has somewhat stayed the same. But it's a ever-growing fraud trend that we're seeing.
Now, there's a lot of uptake in terms of fintech and banks, and a lot of interest around cryptocurrency, especially around how fast you can do payments when using blockchain. Is there a concern that this type of fraud will be widespread in the industry and then see a default in terms of that technology growing?
Yeah, so we see it, across all industries. It's easy to create this deepfake technology thanks to AI. I mean, crypto is one of the most fertile grounds for these fraud attacks, and deepfakes are on the attack vectors that are on the rise. So speed and robustness is essential in that user verification. But we also, encourage people not to just look at, getting a person onboarded, but also look at what happens after the onboarding. More than half of the fraud also happens, in that space of the user journey. So, that's basically where we really encourage people to look across it as a holistic view, as a waterfall approach, and not just treat the gate of entry, as the pure, that's where we need to put all our guard at is, if the wolf is in the sheep's pen, he's already in there.
Then, Hannes, the main challenge is just stemming the criminal activity around blockchain and other digital technologies. What are the challenges that you're facing? Because when you look at blockchain, it's really borderless. Anybody can trade from anywhere, whereas banks use things like Swift keys and other protection forms. What can you use in crypto to make sure that you really stem that fraud that's happening in the industry?
I think it's a global thing. So, I mean, globally, there's more regulation coming to the crypto space. When people look at the user journey is to have certain measures in place, two-factor authentication or invoke a selfie, device fingerprinting. So it's not just, when people's got your password, they've got the keys to the safe. I think you need to look at that. Yeah, it's basically all around.
And then looking at our industry in South Africa, there was a lot of excitement, especially during COVID, around crypto, investing there and getting major returns. We know that the industry has since suffered since then, with the market really suffering a downturn. Are we going to see maybe blockchain being taken up by governments as the reserve banks take interest in this type of digital currency?
I can't answer to that, but I can, however, say that, I think deepfake technology is costing the South African economy more than 1.5 billion rand a year. So, I mean, the report has some great statistics on what we're seeing globally and, what certain people are doing and some use cases of what they're seeing there. But I do see people speaking to using crypto in different industries, even if it's in government.
And Can you just explain to us the deep fake process? What does that entail? What would a fraudster be doing there to create a profile, and how do they dupe, users that don't know how this works?
Okay, so I mean, there's a couple of different ways, but to sort of boil it down to its essence is someone can impersonate you, so they can go onto your social media account, or they've got a couple of your photos, and then they use software to render a face of who you are to gain access to your bank account, or send a video. I know there's a story of a man that they impersonated his face, and they sent $622,000 out of his account. I don't know if it was a banking account or a crypto account, but that's one of the stories I've heard lately.
It's very important to know your client then as a crypto provider to try and make sure that the users are safe. What are some of the things that some of these big companies can use in order to make sure that they have the right type of security?
I think when you look at this type of fraud is to look at it holistically, not have like siloed approach to it. So you're looking for an all-in-one verification platform where these different touch points speak to each other, when it's either at onboarding or when there's a transaction that needs to be monitored. So not having a siloed approach, but more an all-in-one type of approach when you want to look at that. Have a selfie of that person, do a liveness test of that person. Don't just take the information that's being sent to you at face value. Be integrated to great government databases and other databases that can supplement that information for you, so that you know that you are speaking to the right person at the other side of the mobile device or the laptop.
And when compared to the rest of the world, how far is the continent in terms of verification technology? Are we as quick as other parts of the world?
The report actually has some great statistics on that, so I'll definitely guide you guys to go have a look at that. And you can get the report on our website on samsab.com. But if I look at fraud or at the picture globally, yes, onboarding is half. Non-doc verification, that's something that we specialize in. It's where someone can be verified without their ID document, and we integrate it to a government database. So in some cases and in some countries, pass rates like in South Africa have gone from, I think I might be wrong, but you can go look on that report, is from 70% or 80% to 90%. So yeah, it's really picking up. You need to, it's a competitive market. So I want to be lying on my bed. I want to open my crypto account. I want to trade. If you're going to create barriers for that, it's going to be difficult for me to choose you as my platform.
And just before I let you go, Hannes, platforms like crypto, trading, gambling, and other digital industries require robust proof of authority checks before you can do anything on them. How is the monitoring being tightened here, and what is the industry spending on this type of security?
I don't know what the spending is, but I do believe we've got some great statistics on that. But all in all, the robustness is something that you have to look at. I lost that last part of the question. Could you just repeat that?
You can continue.
Yes. Sorry, what was that last part of the question that you asked?
No, I was talking around, identification of the type of technologies used in different industries, whether it is crypto or gambling or anything that's done digitally.
Yeah, so I mean, all these industries are putting things in place. You cannot be left behind and not have these things in place to sort of, ask these type of questions, do liveness checks, take a selfie of a person. So, I mean, across the board, we work with all these industries. We get people from all verticals that contact us. So it's not just the crypto space, it's the gambling space, it's the fintech space. So I see it all across the board now.
All right, that was Hannes Bezuidenhout, Vice President for Africa Sales at Samsab.